Breakups. They're messy, they're hard, they're very individual, and there are certain rules of how you're supposed to go through a breakup. But still, once it hits you, whatever is meant to happen is gonna happen. And I know I might be crucified for what I'm about to share by my colleagues or maybe some people that are very good with following rules. But I have to say that no matter what kind of breakup you're going through, it's your own journey. It's nobody's fucking business how you do it. So don't feel guilt and shame if you're not following the rules, whosever rules they are, other than your own. But even if you don't follow your own rules, you still shouldn't feel guilty and ashamed of it. My story ended around 18 months ago, and if I'm gonna be completely honest, I think it was only recently that I completely got over it. Maybe in 6 months I'm gonna say it wasn't really the end, but I'm really hoping it is. And when we broke up, I was kind of relieved. I didn't cry. I feel like I cried most of my tears during that relationship. It was a very difficult one, very toxic for both of us. And then in the first 4 months, it was so hard to let go of him and to let go of this idea of who we are. And we kept seeing each other as friends. I laughed at it. My friends laughed at it because it was definitely not friends. It was everything but calling it a relationship. Very gray zone, very unclean cut. And at some point I realized if I'm ever gonna move on, I can't stay in that place. We used to hike together and cook dinners together, and it was actually a good time most of the time, but still we had a lot of drama, we had fights, and the vicious circle was continuing without the whole romantic dream of we're gonna spend our lives together. So then I decided to leave the country, to leave the island where we were, and to have a clean cut, to start new life someplace else. And it was a very healing process for me. As I was leaving Spain, I really felt that was the end of us and we're never going to be anything again. We were declaring love to each other and promising that we were going to reunite 2 months later, but deep in my heart I knew that was the end. And the next 2 months being far away from him really helps. So if you can remove yourself physically from that person, I definitely recommend to do that. It's going to do miracles for you. But then after those 2 months, we ended up on the same island, another island. I was single and looking to have support of my family and friends, to be in a familiar place. It was the island where we met and fell in love years before. But then he decided to come as well with his new fiance. And it was a roller coaster. For the next 6 months, I went through all sorts of emotions. I was feeling anger and betrayal. And did I really matter? How did he replace me so fast? I didn't want him back. I didn't feel like we can ever make it work. But I did want to feel acknowledged, recognized, special. And then months and months later, when his relationship ended, somehow we reconnected, we were friends again. I was holding space for him going through a breakup, and most of my friends were thinking that I'm crazy, and some of them were even like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, this is wrong, how can you do that, you are a coach, you should know better. True. Ideally you go no contact, you remove that person from your life completely, but as I said, we're humans, we have our own pains and traumas and things we need to learn and go through. So there is no rule that has to be followed, and if you don't follow it, you're wrong. Now looking back to that period of couple of months when we were really good friends, it was extremely healing for me. Because I did get my acknowledgement and he did recognize me as this great girl, blah, blah, blah. But I also got to experience how it is to be close to him once again, not romantically, but everything else. We were very close friends. And I realized I'm not that woman anymore. When the final realization came that I am over that relationship was quite recently, when I looked at him and I was like, I can't relate to the girl that was in love with him. There's nothing wrong with him. He's a gorgeous guy, super handsome, very smart, has a beautiful heart when he wants to, but the girl that was so mesmerized by him just wasn't existing anymore inside of me. And recently I shared a video about a magic trick on how to get through a breakup faster. It's basically by working on yourself so much that at some point you're just a different person. You're not that person anymore, the one that fell in love with your ex. And I shared it from my personal experience, that's exactly what happened. And for me to get to a point where I'm a completely different person, I had to do all the trials and errors, and I had to fall into the same hole many times. I had to forgive him so many times. I had to be used by him so many times. And it was okay, as long as in the end you come to a point of forgiving yourself, of forgiving the other person, and actually respecting your boundaries. It's all good. Your journey is your own, and sometimes you have to repeat the same mistake a couple of times, and it's fine as long as you're learning, as long as you're moving forward. That last part of experience with him when we were really good friends was also really good for me to practice my boundaries, because one thing I was horrible at probably most of my life, but especially in relationship with him, is not respecting my boundaries. And then as we were friends, I had less attachment to him and his reactions and what is he gonna think about my boundaries. So I was much better at setting them. And then I realized that my boundaries actually offend him. That was another sign that I'm better off. So it was long 18 months. A lot of things maybe I would do differently if I would do them again, but it was my journey. It was beautiful in a sense. It was heart opening, it was eye opening. It made me who I am today, which is somebody I really like actually. And also it made me very content with being single. At this point in my life, I don't feel like compromising my values and my needs just to have somebody next to me. And most of my life I was doing that, and I know that a lot of my clients are doing it, and probably a lot of you guys, because we're taught that if we're single, if we're alone, something is wrong with us and we necessarily have to be lonely, which is definitely not true. I can tell you from my own experience that being single can actually be amazing. You have more time to focus on things that really matter to you. You have time to work on yourself and to integrate everything you learned in your past relationships. And then once you're in a better, healthier place, you can attract more conscious, better relationship that you actually deserve, the type of love that you truly deserve. So if you're going through a breakup, don't judge yourself, don't feel guilty, don't feel ashamed. It's okay to get guidance, better from professionals than your friends, but in general it's okay to get a guidance, but if you're not following it to the letter, don't feel guilty, don't feel bad, don't feel like a failure, because breakups are fucking hard, and if you're hanging in there, I'm already proud of you. If you feel you would like to talk about it and learn these tips and tricks how to make the process smoother, let me know. First session is always for free. You have all the information below in the description, and I hope it goes fast. I hope you feel quickly. I hope you get to a better, happier place very, very soon.